Here it comes, consent. This is, written notice is the district letting the family know, and consent is the family letting the district know. Oh, I don't want to miss this. So left side is initial IEP. Second one, it's not the initial anymore. Kid's been in special ed. You have an annual review. They propose a change. You, the parents, say, I'm going to Romania. Bye. They don't need your permission to continue the child's education. Well, wait a minute. The parent has the right, if they don't agree and you start, to go to due process against you, the district. Are we loving this? Not so much. Which is why, if everything is hunky-dory and everybody's in a good place, all of this awful stuff gets avoided and that child gets what they need. And imagine the chaos in that home. Well, I don't have, you know the chaos is. All right, what does consent mean? Your family should know this. That's why this is a parent thing. Consent means that you have been given all the information necessary to make an informed decision about the proposed activity, whatever the education. Consent also means you understand and agree in writing to the proposed activity. Therefore, written notice must be part of any request for your written consent. So now, I've got to send this back to the district agreeing. Return receipt, please. Look at the bottom, the asterisk. This is your world. This requirement includes providing a sign language interpreter when appropriate. Language interpreter, sign language interpreter, native language, everything. This family cannot participate in this unless they know every single word that you're saying in whatever way they can get it, and then they can consent to it or not. This is basic stuff. This is 101 entering the world of special ed. Yeah.
So with this consent, does that mean that the family says, I need an interpreter to be present at that time?
No, the family is entitled to it, so if they request an interpreter, they should do it in writing, yes, if that's what you're asking. I would. I mean, it could be as obvious as the day's long, but I would put it in everything you do with the district, particularly when you're hitting these points, should be put in writing. Not to make it litigious or arrogant, but I have a phone call with the case manager, and the case manager disappears. Or is not the case, or whatever, not a million things, God forbid. Where is it? Who'd you talk to? Where is it? Well, it's in writing, in email again. Electronic is wonderful. Don't tweet. So everybody will see. Consent is immediate. This is important too. Let your families know this when you're up against it. Consent means when they receive your parent, when the district receives your written consent, literally the next day, the services could begin. Make sure they understand that. Doesn't mean they will begin the next day, but consent means immediate. Any questions? I'm going to quickly review. Referral. Somebody, this is special ed, somebody in the district, you, the parent, or some agency, usually DC, is going to ask for evaluations to see if there is a disability that is eligible, that's the key here, for special ed. You may have a disability and you're not eligible, remember that. Parents should know that going in, big time. Because if their expectation is just to review it, oh, great, they got my kid now, and now we'll get special ed. No, a long way from that. We're just at the beginning. Written notice about meetings, written notice about who, what, where, when, consent from the family, parent, guardian, to the requests of the written notice, which, again, A lot of this is phone calls, backed up with written notice. It's not all just writing. It's meetings, it's talking. But every time there's an action, it's written notice and consent. You can't do anything without that. Not when you enter the world of IEP. 504, soft. INRS, whatever. Special ed, I know a director, every time I see this director, how you doing? Well, I'm running to court. Really? Jeff, I'm in court all the time, that's all I do. Top of 5, anything with a lot of bullets is important. This is important. Your consent is required, you the parent, guardian, before your child is evaluated for the first time. If your child's special education program starts for the first time, see the first time thing? It's a giveaway. First time is the biggest. Before your child is tested as part of a re-eval, before your child's records are released, this is their version of HIPAA, nothing goes. You can't do anything with those records unless you, the parent, as you know, because if you want the district to get the records, well, the parent's got to sign a release. Or else, that's it. Each time your school district wants to access private insurance, the first time your school district wants to access public benefits, you know what SEMI is? S-E-M-I? Special Ed Medicaid Initiative. Districts can access your Medicaid. It's all for the feds. It's all a big process. You go to the Jersey Cities, the Hackensacks, Bayonnes, big districts, a lot of people. Medicaid. Whenever your school district wants to excuse a required member from a meeting with the IEP team, whenever your child's IEP is amended without a meeting of the IEP team, and whenever you agree to waive a reevaluation. So they can literally, the next to the last, whenever your child's IEP is amended without a meeting of the IEP team. So it's an annual review. I don't know if you know this. So today is what? My daughter's birthday, October 12th. Columbus Day, Yom Kippur, it's a big day. This is our first IEP meeting to sign. So we sign. Okay, hooray. This is the anniversary date. 12 months from now, a year from now, 10, 12, 17, give or take a week, based on everybody getting together, there's going to be an annual review. And if you've got kids with IEPs, you know this. Every single year, there has to be a review. You can't not have a review. And it is not, let me back it up. You live on a December 31st, Jan 1 year. Happy New Year. I don't. I live on a September to June year. And if it's an extended school year, it's mid-August. I never, when someone says, how's your new year going? I said, well, we started okay. You talk to anybody in education and ask how the year's going. And I said, well, it just started. What do you mean? It's October. No. School's only, well, what is it? School hasn't been open 6 weeks. 6 weeks? I mean, for you, you're looking, what am I doing for Christmas? That's just a break for us. That's not the beginning and end of a year. So, there has to be a review of that IEP, and if changes are recommended, there should be a meeting, and there's notification, but as you can see here, they don't need you to do it. They can just let you know.
Jeff? Oh, go ahead, Carmen.
I have a family that she was referring to the meeting as the 30-day. What, is that because of a
She was
change?
what's that?
She was referring to the meeting as the 30-day with the school. Is that, he was transferred from one school to another. Are they supposed to have a meeting 30 days after the change?
Within the district?
Well, he went from one out-of-district school to another.
To another out-of-district school.
So what does that mean?
Yes.
Okay.
We won't read that in here. It's a good point. Should be. Yes. Which makes sense. See, here it is. The kid was in Chancellor Academy, out of district, and they moved it to Palisades Regional. last year. Well, after 30 days, they're gonna wanna have a meeting, because they have to redo the IEP.
Okay.
They have to revise, it's a revision. Why? They're not chancellor anymore. The goals and objectives, I'm gonna look at what Chancellor gave me, because I'm gonna get those records. If I don't get those records, I'm not accepting the kid. I can't. That's that information stuff. So, I'm gonna get the kid. We're gonna do 30 days, and this is just to get a baseline. We don't know who this kid is yet. We don't know if we're gonna change anything or what's gonna be. It's not a probationary period, it's just, we're gonna wait 30 days to see how the kid's doing. Then you're gonna come in, we're gonna have a meeting to see if we need to change anything.
Okay.
Those should not be heavy-duty meetings. Should they be written notice? Yes, of course. How else are you gonna get everybody together? If they're going from Chancellor to Jeff's school, I will have met them already, because I will have interviewed them and decided whether they're appropriate for our school or we can meet their needs. I will have looked at all the information that comes with it. For instance, if I just got that IEP on this kid, I would call up the district and say, your referral, thank you for the referral, but all it is an IEP. I said, can you send me the records, please? Well, we're getting them. I will not interview that family until I get those records. Anyway, so there shouldn't be any explosions in the lab, so to speak, because I will have met the family, I will have read the records, and I kind of know what I have, but I don't know how the kid's going to behave with us. Just a word on this, it's a little off, but it's important because you have these kids. Chancellor threw him out because of his behaviors, and I know what they are, and we already called Chancellor. But I say, okay, I've seen this before. We're going to interview. So we interview. It's a good interview. We can bring up this stuff. Kid gives his reasons. Or reasons, sorry. I accept the kid. And lo and behold, unless kid's really broken, if it's just strictly behavioral, we don't see the behaviors. There's no guarantee, unless it's neuropsych, pathological stuff that's not changing that quickly. Change an environment in an education placement, and you may see different behaviors. You may see the exacerbating stuff that got them thrown out, because that's a different school environment. So you wait 30 days. That's what that's about. Parents should definitely participate in that one. Good? What happens if I don't give my consent for the proposed activity? If it's the first time and you don't give consent, dead in the water. Nothing happens. District can come after you. Due process. Can I withdraw my consent? Anytime you want. Consent is voluntary. Which is why, guys, here's your job again. Cool their jets. Maybe they should withdraw, but make sure they're not thinking purely emotionally, and that they have facts to back up this withdrawal. It's going to wreak havoc. Now, if it should be a change because there's information that says it, not, well, I don't see my kid getting enough homework, and he comes back and he tells me the guidance counselor will see me, and the principal hates me, and nobody sits with me at lunch, and I don't want to be there. Well, then get my kid the hell out of there. Wrong. What's the next thing they should be doing? You know. Come on. Hello, school? Yeah. Make a phone call. Talk to that school. Find out what's going on. Incident reports, anecdotal reports. What do you got? You got a paranoid parent who's listening to a sociopathic kid. Oh, there's such a thing. Every day. Kids manipulating. Kids enabled. Kids infantilized. It's not quite what he likes. The food isn't what he wants. A million things. Have you had this? You will. It's going to happen. So consent can be withdrawn, but make sure it's consent based on good information and not because of a reaction to something. You can always withdraw consent, just talk about it and have a meeting. Calm them down. And if you have a good relationship with the case manager, couldn't be better. In my school, you're not going to call the district. If the parent's having a problem, I'll hear it from the district, because the parent called the district and said, get my kid out of Palisades. I'll hear from Anthony Iacchetti in Elmwood Park, say, Jeff, what the hell's going on with you? I got a parent who's off the hook about these 9 things. I said, Anthony, come on over to the school and see the kid. Here's my records on the kid. 0 for 9. So, parent, or you guys, call me. Call the school. That's your first one. But you can withdraw it. If a parent revokes consent for special ed related services, is this required to amend the student's record because consent's been revoked? You're going to love this. No. What do you mean no? I want my kid out of special ed, and I want the records expunged. No. The district has the right to keep it just the way it is. No more services, but the record stands. Why? What do you mean why? It's fact. Why would you expunge it? Here's when you can expunge it. When the kid graduates high school, record sealed. I've graduated kids from Palisades for decades who have gone to college, to jobs, to the military. Those organizations never knew that kid was a special ed kid, unless that young person wanted them to. All they get when they graduate high school is a high school diploma from their home district. Not Palisades Regional Academy, by choice, or Chancellor, or Windsor. Our schools do not give diplomas. Why? We are subcontractors to the school district, so when a kid gets credit at our school, we give a transcript to the school district, who puts it on the Ridgefield Park transcript. So when the kid graduates with 128 credits, that's all that goes with the kid and his high school diploma. And when you apply for college or a job, we want to see your transcript. Here. Doesn't say Palisades. Doesn't say anything. That's when you can do it. Not before. The record stands. And you can see why. We still have that. That's fact. You can't take fact away. And by the way, you did approve of it originally. You gave consent for this. This is now the kid's record. Okay. I'm going to skip to evaluation. 7. And I'm skipping to this because families need to understand what this means, of course, then you do too. This is the very, very first step after the referral that the district's going to employ. They're going to start doing assessments. The one I like the most, and the one that's toughest to get, is a neuropsych, as you well know. The school psychologist works for the district, performs the evaluation. The LDTC, Learning Disability Teacher Consultant, LDTC. That's the second member of the child study team. School social worker. Schools, that's a certification. School social worker, third member of the team. Then they have a supervisor, director of special ed. They do not have doctors on staff in schools. They consult with them. And they are adolescent child psychiatrists, which are impossible to find. And the one I love the most is the neuropsychiatrist. And I love them the most because look what I'm getting, guys. Particularly if they know what they're talking about. I'm getting both sides of the coin. I'm getting the whole child. I'm getting the clinical side and the neuro side and how they mesh. And when you have complicated kids, and that's all you have, the neuropsych, if it's well done, gives me a real portal into understanding the nature of the child so I can provide best practice. where I should concentrate. They're hard to get. We have, when we've had a kid who's going off the deep end, we've requested from districts, the school, us, a neuropsych. We're never refused. Because when we do request it, they already know the kid is going off the hook because we've told them way before. And they'll pay for it. But don't be surprised if you have a hard time getting neuropsychs. They're expensive and they take time. But they're gold. Gold. All right. So, it's to determine whether the child has disability. It includes any relevant data and the individual administration of any tests, assessments, observations for an initial eval, at least 2 child study team members and other specialists, speech and language, neuropsych, as required or as determined necessary, must participate. Okay. The 2 that, it says at least 2, the 2 that you're going to get will be an ed eval to determine their academic strengths and weaknesses, and the psych. This is the initial evaluation. You're required under the law to update every 3 years. Back in the good old days, they did all of them. Now they only have to do 1. I've received referrals with packages of evaluations that are 5, 6, 7 years old. I lined my garbage can with it. What am I going to do with an educational evaluation and the kid was in the 2nd grade and I got him at 14? All right, now I'll go right to the summary. Psych, the kid's been hospitalized 6 times in Bergen Regional in the last 7 months. Psych is 6 years old. I don't know. So, current. But, by the way, the district will tell you, I'm sorry, we're only required to do this, and that's it. So then you're dancing a little bit. Okay? When's it needed? It's needed when you, the member of the child study team, or your child's teacher, meet and decide that your child may have a disability, underline may, not does. May evaluation assessment of child have been prepared by someone that does not work for the school district, be used as 2 assessment, yes. Sure. We no longer have a child study team employed by the district. We consult, we farm it out, we contract it. So they're not part of the district, but we pay them to do it and they're certified. As long as they're licensed. I mean, this is little stuff, I'm just letting you know. Have to have the certification and licensing for schools. Your licensing, I've been so keenly aware of this, and I know if you haven't, you're getting there. Human services certifications and licensing is different than education's licensing. You could be a social worker. If you don't have school social worker, you can't work in a school. And yet you're a social worker like they are. You're a psychologist, and you hold a shingle, and you're doing bang-up business, but you do not have school psychologist certification. Can you work in the school to help them? Nope. You can work here. Can't work there. Different. Just letting you know. I have no opinion. Yeah, I do. Independent evaluations, I'm not going to get into that with you, TikTok, but, well, this is kind of important because we've had examples of this. Parents not happy with what the district told them. They said, no, your child's not eligible. I said, really? Well, am I entitled to an independent evaluation? Because I think they are. They said, yes, you are. That they will pay for. And they'll give you a list of who to go to. Just dealt with one of these. But guess what? The independent evaluation comes back and it is loaded. You know what the DSM-5 is? Yeah, of course you do. Chapter and verse of the DSM-5. I saw it. Gave it to the district. You know what the district said? Nah, we don't agree with it. Midland Park. I was in that meeting. We don't agree with it. They don't have to agree with it. They paid for it. They don't have to agree with it. So now, what do you think happens next? Who are you gonna call? You're gonna call Ghostbusters. And now you're gonna march in with recording devices and 16 suits. And they're gonna find it out. And they all get rich. Moving off of that to a wrap-up. Here we are, right where I want to be. Page 10, for part 1. So, I talked about it before, and here it is. How is eligibility determined? Remember, all the things that that family has gone through with the child, referrals, written notices, consents, evaluations, meetings, tests, months have gone by because they can, has determined nothing yet about whether my kid's going to get special ed services. So when that parent is banging on your door saying, so, am I going to get special ed for my kid? Am I going to get special ed for my kid? You're going to say, I don't know. Don't say maybe. Maybe, maybe. When the evaluation is completed, eligibility is determined collaboratively at a meeting according to blah, blah. To be eligible for special ed and related services, bullet A. Student must have a disability according to one of the eligibility categories. If you go online to DOE, you will see the categories. I've mentioned a couple of them. Got to fit. Now, just again, if it's not a good fit for one or the other, MH, multiply handicapped, OHI, other handicap impaired, because everybody knows this kid needs special ed, we just can't find a good spot. So they'll do one of those. Kid's autistic, kid is, can't communicate and is smacking himself. So it's autism. Development, they're in wheelchairs. OHI, MH. 2, disability must adversely affect the student's educational performance. Folks, please, education performance. My kid's acting out at home. I need help. Why isn't the school helping me? Because it's a school. What? I don't know how many times in all my years at my school I would always say to my own staff, as well as to families, as well as to districts, with all of the special things we did, we're school first. Our job is to provide them with the core curriculum standards, goals and objectives, high school transcript credit towards graduation, and all of the things that go with the other disabilities. But what am I? I'm not a mental health clinic. I'm a school. My first job is school stuff. So I can't help you at home. So when they're looking for this eligibility, and there are lots of ways that kids can get classified, of course, affects their education performance, which also includes the social emotional. But look at the words they use, and the families need to understand that. They're overwhelmed by what they're dealing with. Who wouldn't be? But the school's not the panacea, any more than you are. The schools think you're the panacea. Schools back us up against the wall. They've tried everything they can do. They know this kid is a lunatic at home. They know the parent can't control the kid. So they're saying, they find you and they say, wow, you're good. So now I need A, B, C, D. Because we're not making it and we need help. And you say, time out. It doesn't work like that. That's not what we do. We've got A and B, and sometimes C, but we have limits. And they also cost lots of money. And we have a budget, and we have a mission. Guys, we started this way. They don't know what the hell you do. They think they do. You really don't. And that's not their fault, because you don't know what they do. That's how we got to come together. First experience with them, you get a kid, I don't care if he's Gen Ed or Red, call up somebody in the school when you get permission from the parent in writing and say, hi, I'm me, and here's what I can do and here's what I can't do. I want to work with you. When everything is calm, cool, and collected, because when the parent wants to bring the army in, and that's the first time you meet the case manager, is when the microphones and the suits come in, and there's 19 people in the room. You think they won't even be introducing yourselves. Because the advocate and the lawyer are going to take over the meeting. They won't even know you're at the table. And there's the case manager and there's the care manager. And you don't even know who you are to look at each other. And by the way, even if you do know at that point, if that's the first time you're meeting, under those conditions, you're the enemy. Yeah. Come on. The law firm has 6 names on the door. Parents not even talking, because they're not allowed to. That's the first time you're meeting them? Done. So, be proactive. Districts will really appreciate it. They should be proactive. All right, eligibility. The school district must provide a copy of the evaluation reports and documentations to be used. Here it is. Wait, somebody asked me. The school district must provide a copy of the evaluations report and documentation to be used to make a determination of eligibility to the parent or adult student, when applicable, not less than 10 days prior to the meeting. So, bullets in your gun before you get there. Don't go to that meeting unless you have it. Why? Well, it's all in writing, and it's all with notification 10 days before that meeting, the classification meeting. You have to have in your hands those evaluations. Why? So you can read them. Parents won't know what the hell they're reading. They won't. Takes a country lawyer. If you're informed, or I'm here, read it with them. Explain it. Just because it has a doctor's signature on it doesn't mean it's the gospel. Doesn't mean you don't have questions. When we get these records, we read them 3 or 4 times and underline them. We want to be real clear. I want to make sure. I got a question here. That's the point. When you get to that meeting, you're not going to be asking 15 questions at that meeting. I mean, you are, but that's a tough place to do that. It really is. This is the time you want special ed for your kid. This is it. It's showtime. And you have 25 questions about these reports. And I'm a parent who knows nothing about this. That's a tough place to be. 10 days before, get it, ask questions to the district. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So say that the parent doesn't receive these documentation
Yeah.
within that time period.
Yeah,
Can they request to move their IEP meeting?
I would. Jeff would do that.
Okay.
I would say, here's the calendar date. I'm supposed to have it on the 18th. The meeting's the 29th. I don't have it. I had a phone call. Parent, I'm calling up. I don't have it yet. When's it coming? Well, I don't know. We mailed it out last week, and I'm sure it's going to get to you. And check your mailbox today. That's not good enough. 10 days? I don't care. I mean, I want to be nice about it. Can we put this meeting off? I haven't gotten them. And by the way, when I do get them, I'm going to have to read them. I would. But I'd call first. I don't want to start setting up friction. But yeah. All right. We're bringing it home. And we're done. What's an IEP? You know what an IEP is. It's a written plan. I don't have to read this for you. Goals, objectives, outcomes, measurements, different than the 504, yes? On the line here, this is where you're putting your mouth where your money is, where your money where your mouth is, or both. Because in 12 months, what's going to happen? It's going to get reviewed. In schools, every 45 days there's a report card. If you're special ed, every 60 days, it's a progress report. In my school, every 22 days, we had a progress notice to the parents and to the districts, just to give them a heads up that we need a little work here before the market period. Every 60, the written, every 45, a report card, plus everything in between. That's what's going to get reviewed 12 months later. tests, reports, incidents, anecdotals. That's what we're going to look at 12 months later to determine what our needs are for the next, not school year, for the next 12 months. Got it? All right. Who must attend? I'm not going to read that to you. And flip the page and we're done. You have a right to. Okay. Copies of your child's IEP. Districts, it's unheard of that they wouldn't give that. Just make sure. Bring others with you to the meetings. That's you guys, except Jeff. Here we go. Take the IEP meeting. If you inform the other persons, please give them a heads up, because they may want to take you back. Have the IEP implemented within 90 days of the school receipt of, got that one? Please mark that. 90 days from when you approve the initial evaluation. 90 days. By the way, there's 180 school days in the school year. 90 days after school year. It doesn't have to take 90, they have 90. Have the IEP implemented as soon as possible. Have the IEP reviewed at least annually. Extended school year, ESY. Any questions? You've been a great audience.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you
Kidding.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job.